Today, another precious life has left this world. A person who seemed perfectly healthy just yesterday is suddenly gone forever. Have you noticed anything unusual in your own body recently? Digestive troubles, occasional back pain, or a constant feeling of fatigue? In my 45 years of medical practice, I have met thousands of patients. But one question still pains me more than anything else. Doctor, if I had come just a little earlier, could I have survived? That desperate question still echoes in my mind. It may be hard to believe, but in South Korea alone, over 7,000 people die from pancreatic cancer every single year. Even more frightening, over 90% of them discover their diagnosis too late. But there is hope. In my more than 4 decades, as a doctor, I have discovered something truly valuable. 5 subtle early warning signals that your pancreas sends when something is wrong. If you learn to recognize these signs in time, you have a real chance to stop the disease before it's too late. My name is Dr. William James. I am 75 years old, a graduate of Seoul National University's medical school, and I have dedicated my entire life to gastroenterology. My specialty is detecting the earliest signs of pancreatic cancer, the ones that even experienced doctors sometimes overlook. And right now, at this very moment, thousands of people across the country are unknowingly feeling warning signals from their pancreas. Sadly, most of them dismiss these signs, blaming age or ordinary digestive issues. It breaks my heart to see people miss the chance to prevent a tragedy that could have been stopped with just a little more attention. Today, I am going to share with you something you will not find in any medical textbook. These are lessons written by years of experience and countless lives saved. If you think this might be nonsense, I urge you, please stay with me until the end. Later might be too late. Let's start with the first key warning signal, an unexplained change in your body temperature. When the pancreas is under stress, the body's temperature regulation becomes unstable. The most telling combination is cold hands and feet paired with a constant feeling of heat in the face. If this symptom lasts for more than 3 weeks, it is time to get checked immediately. Together with the other 4 signs I will share shortly, this will form a complete guide to protecting your life. The second warning signal is a very strange one. A faint, almost invisible vibration in your abdomen, most noticeable right before falling asleep. At first glance, this might seem like nothing serious. Most people confuse it with normal bowel movements or the natural sounds of digestion, but ignoring this signal can mean missing your only chance to detect a hidden threat early. Through more than 40 years of clinical work, I have observed a repeating pattern. When a tumor begins to form in the pancreas, it creates microscopic pressure on the surrounding blood vessels and nerves. This pressure produces a very specific vibration pattern. Patients describe it as feeling almost like a phone set on silent mode, vibrating inside the abdomen. It is felt just below the solar plexus, about 5 centimeters under the point where the ribs meet. When lying quietly in bed, you may notice a faint, irregular trembling that lasts for 10 to 30 seconds, disappears, and then returns a minute later. This is not normal digestion. In fact, it tends to become most noticeable when the stomach is empty. One important detail, unlike ordinary stomach rumbling, this vibration does not stop if you press on the area with your hand. If you experience this symptom repeatedly, do not ignore it. This subtle sign could be the body's way of warning you that something is seriously wrong. And remember, if 2 or more of these 5 warning signals appear at the same time, your health could be in real danger. For your sake, and for the happiness of your loved ones, stay with me until the end of this message. Share this information, like this video, and subscribe to Healthy Old Man so that more people can learn about these life-saving signals before it is too late. Let me remind you once again. The first signal is a disruption in your body's temperature balance. Many people believe this is simply a result of aging or poor blood circulation, but that is not always true. In my 45 years of medical experience, I have seen a clear connection. When the pancreas is struggling, the autonomic nervous system suffers, causing serious problems with the body's temperature control. The symptoms are especially noticeable between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., icy cold hands and feet, combined with a strange heat in the face and neck. If this happens at least 3 times per week for more than 3 weeks, see a doctor immediately. What is truly alarming is that these internal temperature shifts cannot be detected by a regular thermometer. Your external temperature stays normal, but inside, dangerous processes may already be unfolding. The pancreas regulates blood sugar and produces essential digestive enzymes. When it is under stress, the blood vessels in your body begin to spasm, alternately narrowing and expanding, cutting off proper blood flow to the extremities. This leaves the hands and feet cold, and the central nervous system compensates by overheating the upper body. Many dismiss these episodes as stress or age-related issues, but more than 85% of my patients with pancreatic cancer reported exactly this type of temperature imbalance. It is crucial to understand that this is different from menopause. There is no heavy sweating, but there are sudden heat waves. It also differs from circulation problems because warming treatments bring no relief. And unlike heart problems, there is no rapid heartbeat or shortness of breath. If you have such symptoms, start tracking your temperature daily. Measure both your forehead and your fingertips at the same time each day, paying special attention to the 2 to 3 hours after meals. If you have never tracked these changes before, start tonight. If this sensation were coming from your intestines, applying gentle pressure would usually reduce the movement. But in the case of the pancreas and its surrounding blood vessels, the vibration remains completely unaffected. This happens because a developing tumor disrupts normal blood flow, creating turbulence inside the vessels, and your body can feel this disturbance. The sensation is strongest about 3 to 4 hours after dinner, when digestion is complete and the intestines are in a state of rest. This is the perfect time to notice this subtle warning sign. Unfortunately, most people dismiss it as stress, fatigue, or just my stomach acting up. But if these vibrations appear more than 4 times a week and persist for more than 2 weeks, you should see a specialist as soon as possible. If you notice the vibrations getting stronger or more frequent, do not delay a hospital visit. Here is how to test yourself at home. Lie down in a quiet room in a comfortable position. Take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds, and focus your attention on the lower abdomen. Place your hands about 5 centimeters below the solar plexus and stay still for 5 minutes. You may notice very subtle changes that you had never felt before. If these vibrations appear together with temperature imbalances, this is a very serious warning sign. This is not coincidence. This is your body trying to tell you something critical. Some may think I am repeating myself, but that is because we are talking about life and death. These signals must be taken seriously. Now let's move to the third signal. Sudden and unexpected disgust toward the smell of food. Imagine this. The foods you loved your entire life, a juicy steak, fried fish, or even the smell of fresh cooking oil, suddenly start making you feel nauseous. Many people dismiss this as a normal change in taste, or simply aging. But I have seen countless cases where this symptom was linked to early pancreatic problems. The pancreas is responsible for producing digestive enzymes. When its function begins to fail, the body instinctively avoids foods that are harder to process. What makes this symptom unique is that the disgust starts just from the smell before you even take a bite. The aroma alone can cause nausea, a gag reflex, or even dizziness and headaches. This happens because hormonal changes in the pancreas directly affect the brain's smell center, triggering an automatic avoidance response. This reaction is often strongest in the morning, especially while preparing breakfast. What once smelled warm and inviting can suddenly become unbearable, and it rarely stops with 1 or 2 foods. First, it might be greasy meals, then even ordinary homemade dishes. Many people think this is stress, depression, or a temporary loss of appetite. But pancreatic function must always be considered. If this aversion to food lasts longer than 2 weeks, especially if it comes with unexplained weight loss, you must see a doctor immediately. Never force yourself to eat against your body's warning signals. Your body is wise. It often alerts you long before the disease becomes severe. And now the fourth signal, a change in the smell of your sweat. I know this might sound strange, but please stay with me. Body odor is not just a question of hygiene. It is one of the body's natural health indicators. When something is wrong with the pancreas, toxin filtration in the blood becomes impaired. This changes the chemical composition of sweat, leading to a very distinct smell, often described as sweet and sour, sometimes with a metallic edge. This is caused by disturbances in insulin production. When blood sugar regulation fails, the body starts breaking down fat for energy, releasing ketones which carry a sharp, unusual smell. It is this very chemical change that gives sweat its distinctive sweet smell. Even more importantly, it is often your family who notices it first. Loved ones may start commenting on a strange, unfamiliar odor and may even ask you to shower more often. What makes this alarming is that the smell appears without exercise, heat, or sweating from exertion. It is present almost all the time. Even after a shower, within just a few hours, the odor returns. This is not a skin problem. It is a reflection of changes happening inside the blood itself. No amount of soap or external cleaning will make it go away. The smell is usually strongest at the back of the neck, under the arms, and between the toes, areas where sweat glands and blood vessels are concentrated. Many people dismiss this as just getting older, but if the odor changes suddenly, becomes sweet or metallic, and persists for more than 2 weeks, it should not be ignored. When this symptom appears together with others, it is a direct signal to get a blood test. Check your glucose, ketone levels, and pancreatic enzyme activity. Do not be afraid to ask your family if they notice a change in your scent. Sometimes they will detect something long before you do. Now we come to the fifth and final warning sign: unusual stiffness in the knees. This is one of the most overlooked symptoms, because most people never think to connect knee stiffness with the pancreas. Normally, when the knees hurt, we blame age or arthritis. But when inflammation in the pancreas spreads through the bloodstream, it can reach the joints, causing a stiffness that feels different from regular pain. Knees, being among the largest joints in the body, are often the first to react to this inflammatory signal. Take the case of Mr. Pak, an 81-year-old resident of Inpyeong district in Seoul. He had never complained of knee pain in his life, but suddenly began waking up each morning with knees that felt frozen in place. At first, he blamed the weather and used pain relief patches without much thought. But as the stiffness worsened, he decided to visit a doctor. Comprehensive testing revealed early-stage pancreatic cancer. Thanks to early detection, he began treatment right away and is now on the road to recovery. A similar story came from Mrs. Kim, 77, from Saha District in Busan. She found it increasingly difficult to climb stairs due to stiffness in both knees. She too assumed it was normal arthritis. But when other symptoms appeared, she got her pancreas checked, and the disease was found at a very early stage. Today, her knees are pain-free, and her overall health has been restored. This stiffness is different from arthritic pain. In arthritis, pain worsens with movement. But with pancreatic-related inflammation, the knees may feel stiff even at rest. The symptom is most noticeable in the mornings, when it can take 10-15 minutes to loosen up and walk normally. Another red flag is that this stiffness does not depend on weather conditions. It can appear in cold or warm seasons alike, and if it occurs in both knees at the same time, that is especially concerning, as most common injuries affect only one joint, not both simultaneously. If this symptom lasts more than 2 weeks and is combined with other warning signs, you must see a specialist without delay. Some of you might think this all sounds like speculation, but remember, it is precisely careful observation of small details that drives medical progress. And now, the most crucial question: which tests can actually detect pancreatic disease at its earliest stage? Unfortunately, standard hospital tests often reveal pancreatic cancer only when it is already at an advanced stage. That is why I developed a special early detection protocol during my 45 years of clinical work. The very first test you should undergo is a specialized blood analysis. Standard tumor markers such as CA, 19-9 or CEA are helpful, but they are not enough. I recommend checking for pancreatic-specific enzymes such as elastase 1 and chymotrypsin, as well as inflammatory markers like CRP and ESR. These results can reveal even the smallest disturbances in pancreatic function, long before symptoms become severe. Chon Cholsu, a 79-year-old resident of the Sogu district in Daejeon, underwent exactly this specialized blood test. It helped detect early changes that no other standard tests were able to show. Thanks to this, doctors discovered a tiny tumor and began treatment at the very earliest stage, giving him the best chance for full recovery. The second crucial examination is endoscopic ultrasound. A regular ultrasound often cannot clearly visualize the pancreas, but with an endoscopic version, the device is brought much closer, allowing doctors to spot even changes as small as 1 millimeter. For example, 70-year-old Ms. Lemyan from Suwon underwent this test, and doctors discovered a 2-millimeter cyst. It is now carefully monitored every 6 months, which may completely prevent complications in the future. The third important test is a special MRI with contrast called MRCP. This technique allows a highly detailed look at the pancreatic ducts and detects blockages before they turn into something more serious. Because of this test, 82-year-old Mr. Changeman from Namdong District in Incheon was able to detect a narrowing in his duct before any tumor had formed. Preventive treatment began immediately, and his health has greatly improved. If it sounds like I am repeating myself, it is because these steps truly are life-saving. Now, Dr. William James wants to share some preventive techniques that are surprisingly powerful and yet almost nobody talks about. The first method is controlling water intake at specific times of the day. The popular advice to just drink water evenly all day is not entirely correct. For optimal pancreatic health, about 40% of your daily water should be consumed between 6 cows and 8 cows in the morning. This is when enzyme activity peaks, and the body needs hydration to function properly. Add a slice of lemon to warm water to help maintain a slightly alkaline environment. 70-year-old Mr. Choi, Byung-soo from Chuncheon, noticed a remarkable improvement in his enzyme levels after just 1 year of following this habit. 500 milliliters of lemon water every morning at exactly 7 ja. In contrast, water consumption after 9 p.m. should be sharply reduced. Drinking too much late at night forces the pancreas to keep working instead of resting and recovering. The second technique is a gentle massage of the area just below the stomach about 30 minutes before sleep. Massage about 5 centimeters. Below the solar plexus using 4 fingers, moving in a clockwise circle with moderate pressure for about 3 minutes. 60-year-old Ms. Kim Yancha from Changwon completely got rid of her chronic dyspepsia after 6 months of regular nightly massages. The third technique is a special breathing exercise. Instead of ordinary deep breathing, practice what Dr. William James calls pancreatic breathing. Inhale deeply through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 7 seconds, then exhale slowly through the mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat 10 times. This is especially beneficial when done 30 minutes before meals, as it helps prepare the digestive system and improve nutrient absorption. And finally, the most important message: do not lose hope. Pancreatic cancer is not a death sentence when it is caught early. According to Dr. William James, more than 85% of his patients who were diagnosed in the early stage have fully recovered and returned to normal life. Starting today, begin treating your health with greater awareness. Subscribe to Healthy Old Man. Click like and share this information with as many people as possible. It might save a life. And in the comments, write about which symptoms you have noticed in yourself or loved ones. Dr. William James personally tries to reply to each one. He wishes you strong health and a long, happy life from the bottom of his heart.